My name is Peter Higgs, and in 1964, along with five other scientists, we proposed a mechanism called the Higgs mechanism, and it was to explain why particles have mass. But the Higgs boson was initially discovered as a new particle in the year 2012. Over a span of many years, uh, physicists like me have developed a theoretical model, or what we like to call the standard model, that gives the framework for our current understanding of the fundamental particles that exist in nature. And one major part of this model is the quantum field, which is supposed to be responsible for giving particles their masses, or if they have any mass at all. And the basic question of why particles have mass is the big question that we were trying to answer at the time. And the field, which is called the Higgs field, the particles associated with the Higgs field is called the Higgs boson. The Higgs boson experiment occurred on July 4th, 2012, or as the experiment is formerly known as the ATLAS and CMS experiments. And this took place at the CERN's Large Hadron Collider. During the year 2012, there were significant events that were happening in the world at the time. For instance, the Egyptian and Mexican presidential elections held that year. The Olympic Games were held in London, and in Iran, they suspended all oil exports to Britain and France. So in the year 2012, there were a lot of significant events happening at the time. So those are just a few, just to list. A fellow colleague and physicist of mine who joined me on this project was Francois Englert, who was heavily involved in my project and was my second in command, so to say. My role in the experiment was to work in the molecular physics of our project, calculating the vibration of the spectra molecules. In 1956, I began to work in the quantum field in quantum theory when I wrote two papers in 1964 that later became known as the Higgs mechanism, which is a scalar field or a field present to all points in space that gives particles mass. I feel like the impact I had on the physics community is that it helped us understand the origin of mass and particles, which make up everything in the universe. Which is why it's also in the media known as the God particle, or as it's famously known as. And Francois and I were both awarded the Nobel Prize in Physics for our theoretical predictions. For the name the God particle, I don't like it because I feel it implies sensationalism and it grows that kind of out of proportion of what it was really meant for. But it is mainly used in mainstream media, but it's also being outplayed in the media as well. So hopefully the name really won't carry on its weight like it did before when it was first discovered.